Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 3 favorite makeup products in each category. I have wanted to film this for a little while. I know that this was kind of going around for a while and I've kind of seen these videos resurfacing on YouTube, so I wanted to do one myself. I recently saw Kelly Gooch just did an updated version of this, so she kind of inspired me to film this video. So we're going to go through every category and I'm going to give you my tip top current favorites. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll subscribe and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we'll just kind of go in order of how I would typically do my makeup. First off, starting with primer. I am not a huge primer person, as I've said many times, but I do have a few products that I guess you would consider a primer that definitely make the top 3. 2 of them are essentially the same product, but I love them both, so they're both making the top 3. And they are the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, surprise, surprise, and the new e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. Now, obviously you do not need both of these products. I just happen to have both. I love them both. I use them both, so they're making it into the video. These are my favorite way to prime my face before foundation. Now, they definitely don't help in terms of making your makeup last longer. This is strictly for glowy purposes, making your skin look radiant and healthy and just the most luminous, gorgeous version of your skin. That's what this product gives you. Very, very, very similar effect from both. The shades are a bit different. I have multiple shades in both. Shade number 2 is the one I have here in Charlotte Tilbury. And then I also have shade number 2 in the e.l.f. e.l.f. I will say is a bit more pigmented. It has a little bit more color to it. It's not quite as sheer to me as Charlotte Tilbury, but they both give you that beautiful glow. So yeah, I know they're like the same product, but to me, I use them as primers. So I'm considering these two, number 1 and number 2. And number 3 is, I guess, my only true primer. I've tried quite a few. Very rarely do I find a primer that I love until this one. And this is from Rare Beauty. It's the Pore Diffusing Primer. So I have never found a primer that I thought really did much of anything for any pores on my face. I find that most of them do the same thing as a moisturizer does. This one actually does blur my pores, and obviously I have pores. Everybody has pores, so yes, they're still there, and if you look really closely, of course you're gonna see them. This just does a really good job of creating a really smooth canvas, and I personally don't apply this all over. I mainly use this in my T-zone, so I use it kind of on the sides of my nose, on my chin, and then right in the center of my forehead. And that's where I personally use it. I also think that this does somehow help my makeup last a bit longer, especially in the T-zone, because that's usually where I lose product first. I usually lose makeup here, here, and then like right in the center of my forehead. So I don't use this every day. I don't use primer unless I'm doing a full face of makeup and I'm really wanting it to last and really lock it in. Then I use primer. On an everyday basis, I don't, but when I do, this is my favorite. Moving on to one of my favorite things, which is color corrector. I'm always trying them out. I'm always looking for the very best product to help with discoloration under my eyes. These are my 3 current favorites. You will probably not be surprised if you watch my videos. The first one is Bobbi Brown, and this is the Skin Corrector Stick, I believe is what it's called. I used to, before this came out, I was ride or die for Bobbi Brown in the compact, the little pot. I still love that one. Love that one. It's very, very full coverage. It's a pretty thick product. But then they came out with this, and this is unlike any of my other correctors. It is obviously in a stick like this. I wear the shade Bisque, and this is the most thin formula. It's silky. It's easy to blend. It is so good. I recommend this all the time. I know a lot of you have bought this because of me, and I just can't recommend it enough, especially if you are worried about products looking cakey under your eyes. Sometimes when you apply a lot of concealer or you apply a lot of layers of product, that's when the cakiness and you can really see the makeup on your face. Even if you put concealer on over this, now I don't cake concealer on ever, but even when I put concealer on over this, you don't get that cakey look or feel because the texture is so thin and silky, and it helps with discoloration. Honestly, I wear this on its own sometimes and I love it. So that one definitely had to be in my top 3. I'm also including Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish. I've been using this one for a few years at this point, and this is such a good product. I feel like this is one of Charlotte Tilbury's most underrated products. It is very, very similar to the original Bobbi Brown corrector. It is obviously a cream. It's in this compact, so it's a bit thicker in terms of formula. So if you have a really dark under eyes, this or something like this would be for you. But I use this constantly. I love it. You can use it with your finger or just dip a brush in and tap it on where you need it, and it does the job. It is so good. And then finally, this one is my newest favorite. I've been talking about it a ton, so you probably will not be surprised. But this EXA High Fidelity Corrector is the one I've been reaching for the most recently. This is, I believe, a clean beauty brand. I got mine at Ulta, but it has a doe foot applicator. I use the shade Peach in this. And this is a liquid corrector, but it's pretty pigmented and it's a bit of a thicker consistency, which I personally love. To me, the better you conceal or correct darkness or discoloration under your eyes, the less concealer you need on top. So to me, corrector is more important than concealer, and this does the trick every time. Moving into foundation. One of these will not be a surprise. The other two might surprise you. I don't know. But the first one is the one I've just talked into the ground, and it's NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I never get sick of this. I constantly reach for this. Sometimes I wear it alone. Sometimes I mix it with other foundations. It is just the perfect light medium coverage, natural, slightly radiant finish. It looks beautiful on your skin. It doesn't look heavy or thick or makeup-y. And it gives a decent amount of coverage, but still looks like skin. I can't say enough good things about this. I just love this. I just love this. But my second foundation, I actually mixed in with the NARS today. And okay, it's a newer product, but you guys, I am now on the Hourglass love train. I love the new Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. This, I said in my video where I tried this out, this reminded me of the NARS. The main difference to me is the Hourglass gives more coverage than the NARS, but the finish and the way it looks on me, they're very, very similar. So today I mixed a pump of NARS with a little bit of Hourglass, and I love it, you guys. I'm obsessed with this. I filmed another video before this and I wore this combo, and this is going to be my new combo. The beautiful thing about this is Deauville is, I would say, a good shade for me when I have no color at all, and then this is 6.5 in Hourglass, which is a little bit deeper for me, so I can kind of mix the two depending on how dark I am at the time. But these are my top two, you guys. I love them so much. My third pick, this one might really surprise you. I've talked about it, but I don't use it a ton in videos, but I find myself wanting to use it quite a bit, and it is the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. So I used this in, I don't remember what video it was, a month or two ago. I tried this out, and this is a beautiful foundation. Beautiful from the drugstore. It is very unique, so you can see it's exactly what the name says. It's a balmy consistency, so it's very liquidy, but it just looks so natural and skin-like. I absolutely love this. Now, you don't get a ton of coverage from this. I would say the most you would get is like a light medium coverage, but it is a little bit buildable, so you can get a bit more coverage with it. It is kind of a, I would say, a dewier product, so I do like to set this with a little bit of powder when I do wear it, but this is 100% one of the best drugstore foundations I've ever used. However, the shade range is terrible, so I have to put that out there. I like it because my shade works for me. I wear the shade light number 10, but I know the shade range is not good. So if you can't find a shade, definitely skip it. But if you can, I love this. Moving on to concealers. This category was actually pretty easy. I didn't have to think about this one much. First concealer, if you know me, you know that I love NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I talk about this constantly. I use this in so many ways. I use it as a spot concealer. Sometimes I use it all over my face as my only complexion product. I do use this under my eyes, but I'm telling you, if you have a pimple, anything you want to cover up on your face, you need this product. It is exactly what the name says, soft matte. So it is matte, which is good if you're trying to cover a blemish or something like that, but it's not a dry, cakey looking matte. I don't know how it works, but it is the silkiest, softest matte product I've ever used. I have two of them. I have a darker one that I use when I have a little more color and a lighter one when I'm a little bit more fair. So I wear Madeleine light number 2-3 when I'm fair, and then I wear Custard medium 1 when I'm not. And I absolutely love this. I recommend this constantly. One of my favorite ways to use this is to go in with Flawless Filter or the e.l.f. Halo Glow as a base, and then I use like a dome-shaped brush like this and go right in and just spot conceal on my face anywhere where I have discoloration. And that's like my go-to quick base routine. I do that constantly. So if you haven't tried this, highly recommend it. My second concealer is very new to me, but I love this from the very first time I tried it, and it's the Dior Backstage Concealer. If you've been watching me for a while, you may remember when I tried this, and it was love at first use. Seriously. I wear shade 2 in, and this one has a little like paintbrush applicator. This is, I would say, a solid medium coverage, very natural finish. It's not a matte concealer, but it's definitely not dewy. It's just kind of right in between. I absolutely love this under the eyes and on my face. If I just want to throw something on quickly and I'm not using NARS Soft Matte, I use this one as well. I love it. It lasts all day. My final pick is drugstore, and if you've been watching me, this won't surprise you, but the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. Best drugstore concealer, hands down. I will fight you on this. I have yet to find anything that comes close to this. It is in a pump, which at first I didn't love, but now I kind of like that. And a little bit of this goes a very long way. So I wear the shade Vanilla, and this is a very lightweight, serum-y texture. So a little bit of this, like you do one dot under your eye and it will spread all the way across. You do not need a lot. I also love using this, like I said, with Dior and NARS all over the face. I use this as foundation quite a bit. I've done it in videos, and this is just such a good product. I'm so excited that it's from the drugstore. I had not really had a favorite drugstore concealer until I found this. Moving on to bronzer and blush. I thought about splitting this up and doing my top 3 powder blushes, cream blushes, powder bronzer, cream bronzer. But I decided to just do my top 3 bronzers and my top 3 blushes. I just felt like that would be more helpful. That'll give you my true favorites right now. So for bronzer, the first 2 actually are fairly new, but they've become really tip-top favorites. I don't know why I keep saying tip-top, but the first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. I originally bought this in the shade medium. I liked it, I didn't love it, and it was definitely the shade. The shade was just a little too deep for me. Even when I have self-tan on, that shade just feels a little bit dark. Then I got shade Fair, and oh my gosh, when I tell you I have been reaching for this constantly. I get excited every time I use this, and I'm not kidding. It is a cream to powder formula, and I think one of the reasons that I love this is it is more of a matte finish product, but I love that because I wear so many other dewy products, dewy blush. I wear, you know, Flawless Filter or the Halo Glow. I wear a more radiant foundation a lot of the times, and sometimes I want a nice matte bronzer. Sometimes you can't wear a glowy everything, even though I do love the glow. I think that's one of the reasons I love the Charlotte Tilbury. The second one is it is so blendable and easy to apply. That is one of my biggest things I look for with bronzer. I want it to be very easy to apply. I feel like bronzer is one of those things that can go wrong very quickly if it's the wrong color or you use too much. So I really look for something that's easy to use, easy to blend. That is this product. And it is expensive, but what I will say is, I mean, one of these is gonna last quite a while because it's so large. So that is product number 1. Product number 2 is also very new to me, but another instant favorite that I want to use all the time, and it's the Saie Sun Melt Bronzer. I have the shade Light Bronze. This is, I would say, like the opposite of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. This is a very thin gel-like formula. It's not matte at all. It's definitely more of that dewier, creamy looking bronze, and it's very sheer. So you don't get a ton of opaque color and coverage with this, but that's what I like about it. I love to use this when I wear very minimal makeup. It's a beautiful product, and again, it's so easy to use and apply, which I love. And finally, I have one powder bronzer to share with you, and I've also talked about this so much, and it's Neutrogena Healthy Skin Bronzer in the shade 30 Sunkissed. Oh, I wish they would come out with more shades of this. The worst part about this is the only shade. I do not understand. This is such a good drugstore bronzer, but we need more. We need more shades. But this one is very unique. You get 4 different bronze tones in here, and this one is a little bit radiant, but it's not dewy. It's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of a satiny finish, I guess, but it is never patchy. It's easy to blend. I like to put it over cream bronzer or on its own. I also love to use this as eyeshadow, just all over or in my crease. This is another drugstore hidden gem. Moving on to blush. I'm not gonna lie, this was the hardest category for me. I have so many blushes and so many that I love. It was hard to narrow it down, I'm not gonna lie, but I did pick 3. Most of them, if not all 3, will not surprise you, I'm guessing. The first is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in the shade She's That Girl. I have almost every shade except one of these, but this one is my all-time favorite. I also love She's Blushing, which is more of a rosy beigey color, but She's That Girl is just the perfect poppy, warm pink. And you get the powder, you get the cream. The formula is amazing. You can use the cream on its own, you can use the powder on its own. You can pair them together, and you can either do cream and then powder or powder and then cream. It works either way, and I just love these. If you're not new here, then you know how much I love the Patrick Ta. I love Patrick Ta in general, but I really, really love the blushes. Second one is another favorite I've talked about many, many times, and it's a Rare Beauty in the shade Happy. This is very, very pigmented, as everyone says. It's true. Something about this shade, it's a very blue toned pink, and when I tell you, you need the smallest dot of this for your cheek, you really do. You can go overboard with this very, very quickly. I don't know how you would ever go through an entire one of these Rare Beauty blushes, but this is so good. So good. When I use this, I really don't need to layer anything with it, which is unusual for me because I usually wear more than one blush at a time. But if I wear this, this is all I need, and it lasts all day. Lastly is my powder blush pick. Now this was kind of difficult, but I had to go with this one because I constantly reach for this and I just love it. It's Persona in the shade Bubble. So I'm sure you've seen this all over. It is the most beautiful, vibrant, cool toned pink, and I know that it looks so scary, but I am telling you, this is the prettiest flush ever. I have it on right now. I have it honestly over a few blushes. I filmed another video before this and I just kind of topped off my blush with this today, but this color is so good. It is pigmented, but it's very easy to blend. So you definitely do want to use a light hand, but if you go overboard, you can fix it. You can go in with a sponge or your foundation brush or a translucent powder and kind of tone it down a bit, but I love this so much on its own or over a cream blush. They do make it in the stick version as well, which I also love, but I picked the powder since I'd already chosen some other liquid and cream blushes. So beautiful from Persona. Moving on to powder. I used to not be a huge powder person, but in the last year or so, I've been getting more and more into powder. I just find that I need to use powder if I want my makeup to last at all. I live in the South, it's hot, it's humid, and I gotta use a little bit of powder. So I picked my top 3. The first favorite is, again, not a surprise, but it's the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I know a lot of people love this one, and for good reason. I love that it's a baked powder and it definitely takes away shine on your face without taking away glow. So it makes you not look oily, but it doesn't take away any ounce of glow on your face. It mattifies the perfect amount. I like this even more in the wintertime when it's cold and dry outside, and I do want to set my face, but I don't want to look dry in any way. This is the powder that I will go for. Another absolute favorite is the number 7 Lift and Luminate Triple Action Setting Powder. I use the shade Light Medium, and this powder is good for blurring. If you have more of an oily skin type, I would say look into this powder. It's very silky, it's very smooth, it's very finely milled. It is definitely a bit more mattifying, I would say, than the Kosas powder. It's very affordable. I think it's like $12.99 at Target, and it is just so thin and smooth. I love it, especially in the T-zone. For me, particularly on the sides of my nose and my cheek right here. That's typically what I notice, pores, if I notice them at all. Love this one. Okay, the last one, don't kill me. I never talk about this one because it's ridiculously expensive and I bought mine discounted, so I'm not telling you to buy this at the full price because it's ridiculously expensive. But my other favorite currently is the La Mer Sheer Pressed Powder. I wear the shade Light, and okay, the thing I love about this is kind of a cross between number 7 and Kosas to me. This blurs like the number 7, but it also leaves just that little bit of glow on my face. But truly, every time I use this in this area, I'm always like, oh, when I do it, because it just smooths over my skin. I don't know how it works. It is ridiculously expensive, like I said, but I have it and I love it. So I had to put it in this video. I am actually gonna skip highlighter. I don't use my highlights very often, and I don't feel that I have like a top 3. I guess you could say these two are my favorite highlights, but I typically use them more as primer. So that's why I'm not including highlighters. But we're moving on to brows now, and a few of these might surprise you. I'm not sure. The first one probably won't. Favorite pencil, say it with me, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I do have others that I like that are more expensive, but this one is the one I go back to. It's good. It's like $10. It has a spoolie. It's creamy enough so that it's easy to use, but it also has that bit of waxy texture to it that really makes it last on your brows. I've gone through tons and tons and tons of these. I wear the shade Ash Brown, and it's my all-time favorite. Then this one has grown on me. I didn't love this at first, but I do now, and it's Refi the Brow Sculpt. So this is a very interesting product. So you get, I think they've actually even changed the packaging since I bought mine, but it's this white, thick wax consistency, and it somehow makes your brows look fluffy, but it also holds your brows in place. I'm not kidding. They will not move. They stay exactly as you brush them up. I'm telling you, wherever you put them, they're gonna stay there. The trick with this is it does have the white color, so you have to keep working it through your brows until the white kind of disperses. So if you get too much product on your spoolie, it can get a little messy on your brows. But once you figure out how to use this, if you're into that very natural fluffy brow look, you will love this. And then after you apply it, you can flip the applicator and you have a little brush on one end, and you can kind of fluff through them, you can kind of laminate them, you can shape them a little bit more. I love this. I'm almost out of this. As soon as I do run out, I will definitely buy a new one of these immediately. The final product is, this one may surprise you. I don't use this a ton in videos, but I use it a lot just day to day, and it's Brow Freeze from Anastasia. I've kind of gotten away from the brow waxes, like the Patrick Ta one. I still love that. I don't know, something about using a mist to activate it and doing all that. I just haven't been into that lately. I like that I can just reach in with this. There's no color or anything. I can just get some, run it through my brows, and that's it. The hold on this is also very, very good. However, I would say the Refi is just a little bit stronger, but I use this a ton as well. Moving on to single shadows. So for this, I'm including any single eyeshadow product, whether it's an eyeshadow stick, a liquid shadow, cream shadow, anything that's just one singular product. These are my top three. The first one is this one from Rem Beauty, and it's the Midnight Matte Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade Later. This, I'm gonna be honest, the color looks like almost nothing. It's nothing very, you know, exciting in terms of the shade, but that's what I love about it. This is the perfect one and done, even out your eyelids with just a hint of color and you're done. I use this product so often. It is such an easy formula to work with. It's creamy, it's easy to blend, and it lasts all day. I use this one shadow constantly. Second is from Bobbi Brown. This is the Cream Shadow Stick. Particularly this shade, which is golden bronze. It's exactly what it says. It's a golden bronze color. And this is just a little bit more of something than the Rem Beauty. So this has a little bit of shimmer in it. And this is the perfect, I would say, like a more natural smoky eye kind of look. So if you want something that you notice on your eyes, gives a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of definition, but not like a black or a gray or something really dark and intense, this is what I will go for. I just literally scribble a little bit of this all over my lid. Take like a fluffy blending brush, blend it up as far as you want, and that's it. I use this color all the time. And finally, my new Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Exagger Eyes. I did a whole reel on this on Instagram, but this is such a good color. It's kind of similar to Golden Bronze, but just a little bit lighter and a little bit warmer. So that is Exagger Eyes right there. The formula is kind of a whipped texture, but it's not difficult to blend. Sometimes things that are more of a whipped texture I find can be a little difficult to apply, but this one is not. This one, literally, you need the smallest amount. Dip your brush right in and just fluff it all over your eye and you are good to go. I love this one. Moving on to eyeshadow palettes. These were pretty easy. Yeah, these are pretty easy, I would say. The first one was the easiest. Say it with me. The Patrick Ta Measure Dimension palette. This has been in my top three or just my favorite since it came out, honestly. I talk about it constantly. I have yet to dethrone this palette with anything else. This is just my perfect neutral palette, whether I want very minimal with just these lighter matte shades, or whether I want something really sparkly, something really deep and smoky, you can do that. You have creams in here. This is the palette of my makeup dreams. I love this, and I don't see myself ever not including this in my tip-top favorites. The second one, this one may surprise you. This kind of surprised me, to be honest. I don't use this a lot in videos, but I've been using it a lot recently. I just keep reaching for it, and the more I use it, the more I like it. And it's the Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes palette, the Easy Eye palette. So I believe this came out, I think it was last year when her, what was it, the Facegasm palette came out. This came out with it, with the Nudes collection. I got this, I used it, I liked it, but I wasn't blown away by it. I ended up keeping it in my eyeshadow palette declutter, pulled it back out, and this is such a good palette, you guys. If you want something quick, easy, compact, neutral, you have everything you need in here. You have a brown, this is perfect all over your eye, in your crease, a little bit of a deeper, more reddish brown, a deep kind of plummy brown, a light cream, a gray, and a black. And the formula on these is very different from Charlotte Tilbury's typical eyeshadow formula. They're not matte, but they're also not shimmery. They're kind of silky, kind of like a satiny finish. They're so good. I've been using this a ton just day to day. I've actually been taking the light brown, putting that on my lid and in my crease, then taking this cream color and kind of popping it right in the middle of my eyelid. And then sometimes I mix the purple and the black and do like a shadow wing, and I love it. And the quality is amazing. They're easy to blend. I've been reaching for this a ton. And palette number 3 is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. This one may shock you. It's the Wild Greens palette. I have absolutely loved this since I got it. I was kind of hesitant. I didn't buy it when it came out. I bought it a few months, or let's see, it's August now. I think I bought this around the 4th of July when there was a sale, and I was kind of skeptical because the reviews on this are kind of mixed. I absolutely love this palette. I used it today. I used a little bit of this lo-fi color, and then on my lid I have this beautiful pinky golden shimmery shade called Fuzz. I have a little bit of this, or this shade, Earthside, which is kind of a grayish taupey color, and then I use a little bit of the brown Kickback to make this wing. And this is such a unique palette in my collection. I love that you get the green tones in here, but then you also get just some really great basic neutral shades. This is a little bit of color without being too much. To me, I like more muted color tones when I do use color, so I think that's why I love this so much. And I also don't have a palette that has that many green colors all in one, so I have thoroughly enjoyed using this. Moving on to my top 3 mascaras. I actually only have one of the 3. The other 2 I've already used up and I haven't repurchased them. I'm trying to kind of use some things up. The first one is my L'Oreal Voluminous Balm Mascara in the shade Brown. I love, 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 love that one. I love it for everyday makeup. It's not a super intense, voluminous, even though the name is Voluminous Balm. I would not describe it that way. I would say it's more of a lengthening, separating mascara, at least on me. And in the brown color, it's just the perfect everyday, not too intense mascara. It does not smudge and it is easy to remove. I couldn't ask for anything more. As soon as I use up a few more, I will 100% be buying that again. The other one that I love that is the opposite of that is the Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes Mascara. Now this is a black, very intense, very volumizing mascara. So that I would choose if I'm doing a good bit of eye makeup. So if I have, if I'm going out or I have on a full face of makeup, that would be the mascara that I go to. That is fantastic. It does not clump on me, but it makes my lashes look very thick and voluminous and even a little bit longer too. I just thoroughly enjoy that one. I love it. I had a mini and I used it up. Definitely a top favorite for me. And the third one I actually got probably about a month ago. The more I use this, the more I like it. And it's Maybelline Lash Sensational in Black Brown. The reason I like this is it reminds me of Benefit Roller Lash, which was my absolute favorite for years and years and years before I was on YouTube. That one I just loved. I love the shape of the wand, which is very, very similar to this. It's that curved wand shape, so it really allows you to push up on your lashes and really get that lift and length. I really like this. I have been using this a lot and I love it. So this is my third favorite. I didn't end up picking 3 eyeliners because I just don't wear eyeliner that religiously. The only eyeliner that I use constantly when I do wear it is Charlotte Tilbury Eye Powder Pencil in brown. This is the one, hands down, that's my most used. It looks like eyeshadow, but it's in a pencil like this, so it's a bit easier sometimes to apply. It's not quite as intense, or it's a lot less intense than your typical long-lasting eyeliner or liquid liner. So this is definitely my favorite liner. I use it all the time, but I didn't pick 3 because I just don't use eyeliner a whole lot. Last, for lips, I decided to do 2 lip categories. So I'm doing lip liner on their own, and then I'm combining lip gloss, lipstick, all other lip products. I didn't feel like picking 3 lipsticks, 3 lip glosses, 3 lip balms. I just really picked the ones that are my absolute favorites of all of them. But first, for lip liner, the first one is, not a surprise, Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat. I love them all. I have almost all the colors, but lately my go-to shade, believe it or not, is not Iconic Nude, and it's not Pillow Talk. It's what I have on today. It's Love Trap. I feel like no one really gives Love Trap very much love, but it's such a pretty, kind of a peachy brown. It's a little bit, I would say a little bit peachy, a little bit warmer maybe than Iconic Nude. I love it. That's, like I said, what I have on right now, and I love this for the color, but also for the longevity. If you want a lip liner that lasts, Charlotte Tilbury is the way to go. I know they're expensive, but the colors are amazing. The formula is so good, and they last on my lips. So this, always a tip-top favorite. I just kind of change the color depending on my mood. Second one is a drugstore favorite. This one is pretty new, and it's NYX, the Line Loud lip liners. This one is also a really beautiful color. This is Global Citizen. I've talked about this one a ton. So this is more of just a true brown, kind of a medium toned brown. And this one is a little bit creamier than Charlotte Tilbury. It does last pretty well, but not quite as long as Charlotte Tilbury does. But I mainly love it for the color. Global Citizen is just dark enough where I get that kind of contoured lip look if I do like a lighter lipstick or lip gloss on my lips, but it's not too brown. And the formula is just really nice and creamy and really enjoyable to use. I've been reaching for this one constantly. Lastly is the Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in the shade All Natural. This one I love so much. As you can see, mine is teeny tiny. This is very similar to a MAC lip liner. It's that same kind of drier consistency. This one looks so natural on me because the color really matches my natural lip tone. So I wear this a ton with just a lip balm or a clear gloss, and I'm good to go. I wear that as like my everyday lip combo all the time. And last, for the rest of the lip products, so this includes lip balm, lipstick, lip gloss, all of it. I haven't really been into lipstick as much lately, so most of the products I went with are more of a balmy kind of consistency. The first one is Makeup by Mario Moisture Glows. I have 3 of them. This is everything I want in a lip product. It is like a balm. It looks kind of like a gloss. It has just a tiny bit of a shimmer in it. So it just adds that fun kind of sheer sparkle to your lips without looking like straight up glitter. And they do give you just a little bit of that tingly feeling. I want all the shades. In fact, I think he's been coming out with new shades of these. I have Bare Glow, Apricot Glow, and Bronze Glow, and I love them all. This is the perfect product to just throw in your purse that you can throw on. You don't have to worry about applying lip gloss, lipstick, and all that. This is like everything in one. I love them and reach for them constantly. A more affordable option that is kind of similar is the Revlon Super Lustrous Shine Lipsticks. This shade is my absolute favorite. It's Nude Illuminator. I've been talking about this for quite a while now. I love this. The look on your lips is very similar to the Makeup by Mario, not quite as pigmented, and this one does not give you the plump feeling. So if you like that, you don't get that with this. But this color, if you like a warmer, rosier nude, this is so good. I use these constantly. I have like 3 of these because I use it that much. And my favorite lip gloss of all lip glosses, the Dior Lip Maximizer. I think I have 4 of these at this point, but my most used one is 001 Pink, which is what I have on today on top of my lip liner. And this is just the perfect lip gloss for me. It plumps, gives just a little bit of color. It's very shiny. I really love the glossy, shiny look on my lips. I'm not very into matte lips right now, or really ever. I love a glossy lip. This is not sticky. I love it. It goes with everything. It gives a little bit of color without being too much. I keep this in my purse all the time because it goes with everything, and I'm constantly buying new shades. I really want them. And those are my top 3 products in every makeup category. If you're familiar with my channel, a lot of these were probably not a surprise for you, but this is my favorite thing in the world, to sit and talk about my absolute favorite products. So I'm excited that I was able to do this video. I know a lot of creators have been doing it, and I think it's fun. So I hope you enjoyed. I will list and link everything below for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.
Sunday morning, waking up with you. We got no plans, we got nothing to